Hi, this is Isabel Florence, and you are listening to You Are Light podcast, a safe space where we talk about mental health and well-being. Hello, my lovely. Welcome back. Thank you for being here. If you are new, hello, I'm Isabel. Nice to meet you. I'm very happy you're here. I hope you're all enjoying autumn. It's just so nice to feel this cozy season starting. If you're in a place where it's getting darker earlier, make sure that you get some sunlight whenever you can. Today, we're going to talk about spiritual self-righteousness. So, with my exploration of spirituality and the growing of myself, I have defined values within me that are very important to me. And I try to live accordingly. And I saw myself judging others that didn't. And I want to talk about that today. When you are part of a group that is created around beliefs and moral decisions, it is in a way natural to put yourself and your group above other people that do not have the same beliefs. But I think that's a dangerous path to go on. It is a natural human tendency to form groups with people that share our beliefs and our values. This can be very positive because it gives us a sense of belonging and community. But at the same time, there is a dangerous side to it. It can lead to prejudice and discrimination of the people who are not part of this group. This is what we call tribalism, the forming of these groups. It can lead to people having the us versus them mentality, where we are the good guys and everyone outside of this group are the bad guys. And it can give you a sense of moral superiority. And I have seen this play out so many times around me, where someone is spiritual, they are compassionate, they are self-reflecting, and they are at the same time very judgmental of those around them, very judgmental of people that are not meditating, doing yoga, practicing breath work, not drinking alcohol or taking drugs, not eating animals. But we all have a different path. And we have to remember that before we started our journey into spirituality, self-reflection, awareness of ourselves in a holistic way, we weren't any of these things. And that doesn't mean we were less of a human being, less of a kind human being because of it. We just had less resources at that time. We didn't meet the version of ourselves that was able to be so compassionate and so aware and so giving. We also need to consider groupthink, which is a phenomenon that occurs within a group of people where the harmony of the group, the conformity, the belonging within the group results in irrational decision making. Because as human beings, when we are cast aside from a tribe, it becomes very difficult to survive. Sometimes we prioritize being part of a group, belonging, being accepted, rather than individuality, rather than creativity, or even morality. So groupthink is based on a common desire to not upset the balance of the group. Therefore, you go along with what people say, you accept others' beliefs as your own, you perhaps let go of things that are part of yourself just to belong. And I want us to be more aware of this possibility. This can happen in religious groups where the belief is so strong and well defined that it makes it more difficult for people to think critically, to challenge what others are saying. There's also usually a hierarchy of authority within religious groups, and it can be very daunting to go against figures that are seen as above you. And at some instances, when this is taken to extreme, it can lead to catastrophic results. If you look at the religious group, the People's Temple, more than 900 Americans drank poison after being told by their leaders that they should. So It is dangerous to idolize figures. It is important to stay aware of how much we are changing ourselves or going against our actual beliefs just to conform. And it is important to understand that just because someone is different to you, just because someone's values are different to yours, doesn't mean they are below you. We also tend to create an identity around our position in the group or in what we believe about the world and ourselves and life. As you see yourself as a spiritual person, it can become important to your sense of self and quite scary to let go of it or to have that sense of self criticized. But it is part of being a human being to have different opinions. In a world where now we read most of the news and information through social media, a space that is designed to be a reflection of our own beliefs and our own values, we become less likely to be open to other people's viewpoints, to other people's opinions. And we end up believing that everyone around us have the same values as we do when they don't. It's only the filtered people in your phone that have it, that have that same mindset as your own. So these echo chambers, these digital echo chambers, are environments where you are only exposed to information that confirms your beliefs. This is also dangerous. It becomes increasingly difficult to have productive conversations from polar opposite viewpoints that touch on important issues. So you are part of a group where everyone's beliefs are the same. You don't want to upset anyone in the group because you want to feel like you can continue belonging. You might have leaders that you idolize their belief system and feel like you cannot challenge them. Otherwise, you'd be cast aside from the group. You have a system where these groups become more and more isolated digitally, and you only interact with the people in your group, which therefore ends up reinstating the belief that you are morally superior to everyone else. All of this can be a recipe for disaster, and I want us to have some awareness of it. All of this also makes us overly sensitive and unable to tolerate opposing ideas, a phenomenon called safetism. So let's take a step back and let's change our behavior a little bit so that we don't get sucked into all of these negative results of a social media driven world. So, what should we do? Let's critically evaluate the information that we are receiving. Don't believe everything you read. Don't believe every video you watch. Identify bias presence in the information that you consume. Evaluate the credibility of your sources. Be exposed to different viewpoints. Follow people on social media that have a different mindset than you. Read from sources that you usually wouldn't. Have conversations with people from different beliefs without casting judgment on their beliefs, without casting judgment of their lifestyle. Maybe if you were in their position, you would have had the same beliefs. Don't feel pressured to conform to a group's beliefs because you are part of the group. Remind yourself that it's okay to disagree with people. Put yourself in situations where you might disagree with people, no matter how scary that might be, as long as you're safe. Remember that it's okay for someone to have the wrong opinion over you. And I say that with inverted commas because I don't believe in one opinion being wrong and one being right. Is people's perspective. We all have a different one. But it is okay for someone to misunderstand you. Don't be so precious when it comes to your identity and what people think of you. What you think of yourself is the most important part. Be respectful of people who have a different view from you. Remember that spiritual maturity is about being humble, being open-minded, and being willing to learn from others. Spiritual practice should be about seeking truth and understanding, not about being right, not about proving others wrong, not about creating a higher version of yourself that your ego really enjoys. And do not discriminate over the darkness parts of life. We need the dark to enjoy the light, to live in the light. So whatever you see in the other person, if you judge it, you are judging yourself because you have the same qualities within you. They might be hidden in your shadow, they might be dormant, but we are all made of the same stuff. We cannot place the quality of evil onto someone else and try to eliminate it, because that same evil lives within us. It is part of nature to have both good and bad, to have disagreements. And just because you're part of a group that have the same beliefs, that work towards being a better human being, doesn't mean you are above anyone else. We have to remember that on the core of spirituality, there is kindness, peace, compassion, not self-righteousness. That's a lesson that I had to learn, and I'm still learning it. I love you very much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening. All the links are written down on the show notes, as well as resources for anyone struggling with their mental health. Don't forget to subscribe so you're notified when we release new episodes. Also, feel free to share our podcast with your friends and family. And if you'd like to get involved, explore our content, or support our work, visit our website www.yourlight.earth. That's yourlight.earth. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at u.r.light. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time.